Hey everyone, I'm Golden Meerkat 21, and I think it's been like almost a whole year since I last uploaded a video, so yeah, we're back on the server 2B2E, a Minecraft Bedrock Edition Anarchy server. So it's like 2B2T, except 3-year-olds can play on it on their iPads or something, I don't know. Anyhow, I am at my base of around like a year and 4 months or so. That's how long I've been working on it. And yeah, so I'm just gonna do like a big, grand, hopefully like final tour on this base. Alright, let's get started with the tour. So what we're in right now is the creatively named map room. So as you can see, I've basically just got my base and I mapped out all the land around it, which is a little psychotic and maybe a little pointless, but I think it looks cool in here. But yeah, let's move on. And well, you'll notice a pattern that all this, I do a lot of time waster stuff here. And as another example, let's just see the rest of this castle we're in, and specifically the underside of it, which this was a relatively recent change. It used to just be, as you'd expect, just like grass at the bottom here, but for whatever reason, I just dug it all out, and I think it looks kind of cool. It probably wasn't worth the tens of hours or whatever, but oh well. So yeah, this castle was like the second thing I built at the base, and I left it alone for a while, but I've sort of been continuously updating it or upgrading it whenever I start playing again. Yeah, so I've been what went from a plain stone brick castle, I started adding some farms and stuff to it, and also of course some decoration, which I'm still learning. I still consider myself basically a beginner builder, but I'm slowly getting the ropes, I think. So yeah, I have a couple. These farms are kind of, I built them just for the sake of it. It's not like I need a bunch of sugarcane, but this is an auto farm that sort of only works on this server and other similar ones that use a similar, like, I guess it's like Nougat or something, I don't know, but so yeah, it's actually a lot more productive than I was expecting, and like if you sit here for a while you get a couple stacks, and it's slowly been filling up. This is the only other one so far, and it's also an auto farm, but it's not nearly as good. It's like super impractical and very slow. And I'm not up here much anyways, so they aren't loaded very often. But yeah, there's a lot of underground stuff, you'll see. So let's get into the main meat of the tour now. We're coming down these steps. Oh crap. Oh, real quick, I just want to show you this little elevator idea I was thinking up. And there, see, isn't that kind of neat? But yeah. Let's just head down these stairs, and all of this is sort of always a work in progress. So there's this tree stump is completely unfinished on the other side. It looks good on the front side, but not from this angle. Yeah, so I very recently redid these roads, and I can't decide if I like it or not. I think I'll keep adding more greenery and stuff, and it'll probably start to blend in more, but yeah. Oh gosh, these light glitches are kind of annoying, but you get it. Yeah, so this is kind of funny. This building here is my alchemy room, and oh, let me eat a bit. This was originally, I built it a little after I made my second tour. Yeah, I made a couple of tours of this base already, but please don't go back and watch them. And you don't need to. I'll show everything here. But yeah, I didn't like how the tree looked because I built it all the way up, but later I decided to cut it down and just make it a stump. Yeah, and I don't really use this room much, but it has all the stuff you'd need. And I think I'll go straight to this, which is actually the first build of this base. This used to be all that was here, this house, and it's a really odd house, and it's funny, it felt so big when I first built it, and now it's tiny with the rest of the base around it, but still, this is my, for a while this was like the main area of my base, and it's still sort of the base of operations because I have a lot of my stuff in here. Yeah, through this base I've kind of learned that I'm a terrible hoarder. I leave a bunch of shit lying around everywhere. Like, look at this, it's just, it's pretty awful. So yeah, there's not much to see in there, but I still have an attachment to it. I've been meaning to decorate these sides and stuff. It basically hasn't changed at all since I built it, besides I added a couple of flowers and stuff here and there. But yeah. So with this base, there was like this one point in time, I've gone through like a couple different like mental frameworks of how I should build this base. Like, if you go back and watch the first tour, which I don't really recommend, but you can see it used to be just completely plain and boring and all stone brick stuff and just big stuff for no reason, which is still kind of a thing, of course, here. But later, it felt pretty empty, so I just populated it with a couple buildings, but they were all quickly done and kind of looked like ass, so... And including the castle, it was also just as plain as, or even more plain than some of these buildings, but slowly I've been revamping them and adding some detail, maybe a little bit too much on this one. This is kind of imbalanced, I don't know. This one needs more work, and I still need to do these two, but that's coming later. Yeah, so these paths, again, they're new, and I thought it'd be cool to sort of make them curvy, and I can sort of decorate around them to make it just pleasant to walk through and stuff. But yeah, this farm has also been here a while, but I did something a little again psychotic with this farm, and I wanted to expand it, but since there was a river in the way, I think I had to go under the river, so that's exactly what I did. And it's a lot bigger than it looks like from here. If you just think about all these little, it goes way down there, and it took an annoying amount of time, and the mobs keep trampling on it, which is driving me crazy, and I think I'm gonna beat someone up. And yeah, let's move on to the next build. So yeah, this was in the previous tour, which was like, I don't know, almost a year ago now, maybe more than that, but this was new when I made that, because it was Hemuli provided me with a bunch of building supplies, so yeah, I used a lot of those in here, and it was sort of like an homage to that. Alright, let's get on with the tour. Yeah, this video might be kind of a mess. I've been meaning to make this a while ago, but I kept putting it off or building something else or whatever, or over planning for it. I was wanting to make like a big script or something, but just to get it done, I think I'm sort of just doing this on the fly and torturing my future self because I'll have to edit it down later, and yeah, so that might explain some of the weirdness. But yeah, anyways, this ship right here this is actually where I started my last tour of this base, and not much has changed in here. I can't remember why I took that down. I think I meant to update it and I never did, but it's funny, this might be like the only decorated interior of the whole base. It's another thing I've been meaning to do, some interior decoration stuff in some places, but for now, this is it. So yeah, oh, I forgot about this. I logged in for the first time in months. I'm surprised to see that everything is just as I left it. And this is from like, oh gosh, how long has that been? Like 7 months ago now. So that's still the case. This base still hasn't been found. Yeah, and I'm happy about that. Nothing has changed about this ship since I built it maybe almost a year ago, except I updated this sail, and I've been meaning to update this one too. Like, I added some dimension to it. Yeah, that's kind of the thing with this base. I've sort of, as I learn more building skills, I try to apply some of it to my old builds. That, even though, I guess, it might not sound that long to some people, but like over a year has been enough time for me to. Lots has changed in that time and stuff, but yeah. And what's funny is a lot of the time I play on this server, and specifically this base, I spend a lot of it doing just mindless tasks like digging that, building this giant wall, that tower, which we should look at in a second. And it's sort of, I think it's just easier to do that kind of stuff on the fly if you just don't want to commit to something big, which I've been trying to change recently and actually start building more stuff. Yeah, I sort of, obviously like a lot of people on this server, it's sort of an escapism, so I just like to hop in here and distract myself. And yeah, this tower was one of the first builds, and it's in that same vein. But yeah, I also, once bubble beams were added, I put them basically everywhere. I kind of got a little obsessed with these, just the convenience of it as a vanilla player. Alright, so yeah, I wasn't even thinking, I just went up here out of habit. It's kind of funny, I like to just fly from here every once in a while, and I guess you'll get a sneak peek of what's to come. I still haven't put anything up on this. This is another pointless tower, but the main attraction, which we'll see soon, is across the wall. The pyramid. I've upgraded that. Ooh, just a peek. And maybe I should talk about this chorus plant. I just thought it'd be funny to, every time the chorus fruits or flowers like matured, I would go on here and replace them. Damn, never mind. Guess I won't do that one. But you get the idea. And then it would just grow from there, and it kept growing bigger and bigger. I was thinking maybe I'll break it down for this video. I think that might be a little kind of cool, but so yeah, this is many months in the process, but I think I'm gonna chop it down it's kind of an eyesore, to be honest. And I wonder if it'll lag the server. Yeah, so, and hopefully my phone doesn't run out of storage and cut the clip short, cause that almost happened a little bit ago. I've been having to split this up into multiple screen recordings, but that's besides the point. Let's cut it down. Oh, damn it. Oh no. Am I gonna have to... Did it not work like I thought it would? Or is it just... What the hell? Oh no. I'm so confused. I guess I'll just leave it like that. Yeah. Actually, I might show you something kind of cool. So my base has basically a whole underground section that connects all of the builds, and it used to just be a plain tunnel, but I've made some upgrades, so we can take a look. Ow. Yeah. So, it's nothing much, it's still pretty plain, but I've done a bit of, a repeating pattern. It might be a gradient if it was on a larger scale, but obviously this is such a small area, it's more just a pattern. Yeah, I can't remember how far. Okay, this one, it just ends here on this side, I think, but it goes further over here. Yeah, I might speed this up. Yeah, if I had a minecart, well, now that I think about it, a minecart wouldn't be much faster. I wish it was, but it isn't. Well, real quick, before we go on, I built this test room when I was trying to find dupes and stuff, but I think I have commitment issues because I didn't get very far with it. I only tried a couple things and got bored and was like, I'll just deplete the natural resources of this area to get my building materials. I like doing that. And yeah, right here, this is actually a map art that I made. We'll talk more about that. But yeah, it took a lot longer than it should have. I'll say that at least. But here you'll see what used to be, before I dug this out for the castle, I already had some sort of quarry here, but it's like, I don't know, tripled the size of it just for that. It's hard to get a good idea of the scale of it, but I'll just say it took a long time. But I mean, that was kind of the point. I could distract myself with that. Oh gosh, how am I gonna get back up? Oh right, I left this is kind of a detour, but oh well. I think we should go look at that pyramid, cause it was in my last tour, but I've done a lot of work on it, and I'm kind of proud of how it turned out. It's not my best work, but I worked with what I had, and yeah. I guess we should just go see it. And I'm still recording this, of course, but maybe you've already seen it in whatever intro I've made. But yeah, here it is. It has some beacons. This was gonna be a gradient, but I need to redo that, remove the red. But yeah, this is the pyramid. It took a long time, or it took longer than you'd think it would, especially as a vanilla player, I think, because placing all these stairs in the right position, you have to really squeeze in there and angle yourself right, and it was a lot. And yeah, these stones I'm planning out another pathway. And also the redstone lamps, they were a massive pain. It's kind of embarrassing to say, but I didn't have any on hand at the time I made this, so I actually had to go on like a multi-hour long nether trip and mine the glowstone myself. So yeah, there isn't much of an interior right now, but I've at least gotten started. It's at least something. You can drop down from there and go down here. This is like a quintuple beacon. But yeah, this is I like making maps of my base every so often, just to visualize my progress on it. I think I take a little bit too many maps. This over here is a base I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about. But yeah, I'm thinking of expanding this into like a full-on museum at some point. So around the time I built this pyramid, I also built this weird, I felt like this wall was looking a little empty, and it still is. I need to build more, but I built like this weird house thing plopped on the side of it, and I think we should go take a visit. I might be able to fly into here. Alright, I made it. So we're actually on the other side of the wall, but from here, I actually have a ladder. We can go ahead and pop into here. And yeah, absolutely no interior design. There's a chimney and no fireplace. But ignoring that, this build, it's pretty funky, but it took me a lot of work and I had fun designing it. I'm not used to really putting this much effort into a build, as weird as that might sound. Yeah, it's also worth noting, in like my 5 years of playing Anarchy, I think this is the most work and the most time I've put into a single base, which, I don't know. Maybe that says that I'm not used to committing to a base like this one. Anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about right now. Yeah, so it doesn't make much sense, but I liked trying to make it look at least a little bit supported physically, so I put some sort of chains there and some pillars underneath. And also, all these bricks, and same for the ones on the pyramid, I didn't have any bricks with me, so I basically depleted all the clay in all of the rivers in like a million miles around this base. So yeah, I love destroying ecosystems. This base I think is pretty bizarre, I bet. I mean, I've been here so long, I've gotten used to it, but I don't know, it's probably a little, something might not be right in my head, but yeah, and there's so many things I have planned for this base. At this point, I actually don't want it to get found and griefed, but obviously that's gonna happen at some point. That's how these servers work. Okay, so you know what? Oh wait, man, I keep thinking of more things I want to show you. So, I think it's worth mentioning that this build, which also doesn't have any interior design, is basically my storage for these types of blocks, my hoarding area. I actually have I have like 50 shulkers of stone back at the castle, because I'm a psychopath and I kept it all, but yeah, so this is what that's for, and man, I think I'm gonna remove the water pillars here because they're kind of annoying in such a small area. But yeah, and right next to this is this, which actually used to be a bigger build, but it looked so plain, similar to this tower over here, which I want to upgrade at some point. It looked so plain that I actually took the whole thing down and replaced it. But yeah, so I tried to put a bit more effort into such a small area. It's not much, but I'm proud of it for what it is. Yeah, so, yeah, the roof on this building definitely needs some work. I like how this one's kind of bendy, I don't know. Yeah, let me show you something really weird. Right here, this is my grass path, just a normal, it's not that weird actually. I think most people have something like this, just a line of grass that basically goes on forever. It goes underneath the water, goes up that mountain, goes for like 1,000 blocks in that direction, which will also go in that direction because I want to show you something over there that's a little bit far, but at the same time I spent way too much time on it. Yeah, so I'll give you a look. And this is how I get around, because I need to make more rockets. I go up here. Yeah, I guess rockets work better on the server now. I just discovered that. They used to be pretty awful. But yeah, you can't really see it from here, but there's grass growing on all of that. And if we follow the grass and... oh, pretend you don't see that. I forgot to plant grass there. Yeah, just ignore all that. Oh god, my computer is starting to hum in pain. Maybe the music will cover that up if I have some background music playing. Oh gosh, it's getting kind of bad. Okay, so we're almost there. But yeah, so here's my map art, and I wish I just built it over an ocean or something, because I had to flatten out a big hill, and I didn't have any grass, so I used a bunch of the grass underneath here. And it took me like 5 times as long as it should have. I even, look over here, for this gray dye, I ran out of gray dye, and I, and also carpets it looks like. But I eventually had to farm squids on this godforsaken server where they barely spawn at all. And it was really painful, but I finished and it's done. And there's I didn't account for the terrain changing the color of the grass, but maybe it looks kind of cool on the map, I don't know. Yeah, so let me just teleport back to the base. Wow, movie magic. I think I'm kind of a genius. Anyways, yeah, there's only a few more things I haven't really shown in this tour. I had pretty lofty expectations for this video, and I don't think it's gonna live up to them, but I at least want to archive this base as a video for my own sake, I think. And hopefully you at least enjoyed this a little bit as well. And yeah, so look over here. Yeah, so around the time I finished the pyramid and this house thing, whatever it is, oh yeah, and there's a big hole here, just ignore that, Hemuli came back to resupply me with building supplies, which is really cool, and I appreciate that a ton. And he even built an awesome house right here, and yeah, so it's empty because it had a bunch of building materials inside, and so yeah, I've been, again, it's another, just by coincidence, it's another build with no interior design, but once I get to that, I think I'll do that to this build as well. And I mean, even this little patio area is kind of like interior design, it's kind of right on the edge. And yeah, I sorted a bunch of this stuff, and I still haven't moved it from here, so I have like 5 different areas where I have random stuff sitting around, and no real central storage system, because it sounds like a pain to organize all that. Yeah, so there's pretty much, I mean, there are a few more things I could show you, like, and I will right now. God, this video is awful. Yeah, this is sort of a recent project. I've been, instead of building a pyramid, since I already did that, I'm excavating a pyramid. I'm digging out a pyramid from the terrain, and it's taking kind of a while. I don't know. It's another time waster thing, but yeah, and I might decorate it a little bit when I'm finished. I don't know how far I'm gonna go with this. It's kind of ridiculous, but I thought it might be kind of a neat effect. And yeah, there's a ton of that sort of stuff at this base, just holes to nowhere, pointless not really mega structures, but big, dumb structures that I tell myself I'll decorate later and never do. Well, I have been a little bit more. I should give myself at least a little bit of credit. There's a ton of stuff that had been sitting here for a year that I finally got to redoing, like that building we looked at earlier. But yeah, this might be the last thing I show you. It's another hole, but it has a little island on it, so that's all. I hope you enjoyed this tour. I'm kind of rushing the ending because I ran out of time.